The girl came running out of the grocery store barefoot, one sandal dangling from her hand, hair stuck to her cheeks with tears and sweat. She was small, maybe 6 or 7, her chest heaving as if her lungs couldn't quite keep up with the terror pushing her forward. She didn't stop when she reached the curb. She didn't slow down when she saw the line of motorcycles parked like iron beasts along the edge of the lot. She ran straight toward them, sobbing so hard her words broke apart. "They're beating my mama," she cried. "Please. They're beating my mama." The bikers had been laughing a moment before, teasing each other about burnt coffee and the heat. Leather vests, sun-faded patches, scars earned and unearned. Men who had learned to sit with silence and noise alike. When the girl's voice cut through the afternoon, the laughter died instantly. Engines ticked as they cooled. Someone set a mug down too hard. One of them, a broad man with gray braided into his beard, knelt in front of her. He smelled of gasoline and peppermint. "Easy, sweetheart," he said, keeping his hands open, low, not touching. "Tell me where." She pointed, shaking so badly her arm wobbled. "The yellow house. By the tracks." "He's mad. He always gets mad." Another biker was already pulling his gloves on. Another had his phone out, thumb hovering. Someone else asked her name. She said it, then choked, then said it again, as if it might disappear if she didn't keep hold of it. "Stay with her," the gray-bearded man said, and the words moved through the group without being repeated. 2 bikes roared to life. Then 4. Then all of them, the sound rolling out of the lot like a thunderclap that made the girl flinch. They rode fast but not reckless, a practiced line weaving through side streets until the tracks appeared, rusted rails cutting a scar through the neighborhood. The yellow house stood back from the road, paint peeling like sunburned skin. A screen door hung crooked. The front window was open, and through it came a sound that stopped the bikes even before the engines cut. A thud, a sharp breath, a man's voice thick with fury. They dismounted together. Not running. Walking, boots heavy on dirt. The gray-bearded man took the porch steps 2 at a time and stopped, listening. Inside, a woman's voice broke, pleading and familiar in its fear. The bikers had heard that voice in different forms all their lives. In bars, in kitchens, in their own memories. The door burst open from the inside before anyone knocked. A man stumbled out, eyes wild, knuckles red. He froze when he saw them, the line of leather and steel filling his small yard. His mouth opened. Something angry tried to crawl out. "Step away from the house," the gray-bearded man said quietly. "Mind your business," the man snapped, puffing up as if size could save him. "This is my family." One biker, younger, with a scar like a lightning bolt across his cheek, moved just enough that the man's eyes followed him. Another stepped to the side, blocking the path to the door. No one raised a fist. No one smiled. "Your family needs help," the gray-bearded man said. "And so do you." The man lunged. It was fast and stupid and born of a lifetime of being told force was the only language. He didn't get far. Hands caught him, steady and controlled, pinning him without spectacle. He shouted, cursed, thrashed, then sagged when his breath ran out. Somewhere, a phone beeped, the dispatcher calm on the other end. Inside the house, the woman sat on the kitchen floor with her back against the cabinet. Her cheek was swelling, her lip split. She stared at the doorway as if it were a mirage. When the gray-bearded man crouched in front of her, he kept his voice gentle. "Ma'am, you're safe now." Her shoulders shook, and the sound that came out of her was not quite a sob and not quite a laugh. I thought no one would come." He shook his head. "Someone always comes. Sometimes it just takes a kid brave enough to run." An ambulance arrived. Then a patrol car. The man was led away, still shouting, but quieter now. The girl was brought to her mother, and they clung to each other with a desperation that made the air feel thin. The bikers stood back, helmets under arms, eyes averted, giving them space. Later, when the sun began to slide toward evening, the gray-bearded man knelt again, this time in front of the girl. He handed her a small patch, frayed at the edges, a wing stitched crookedly. "For being brave," he said. She traced it with her finger. "You're not scary," she told him solemnly. He laughed, surprised by the sting behind his eyes. "Don't tell anyone." The story didn't end there. It never does. The woman, whose name was Elena, found herself sitting in a hospital room later that night, watching the clock's red numbers creep forward. Her daughter slept curled against her side, breathing softly. Every time Elena closed her eyes, she saw the man's face twisted with rage. Every time she opened them, she saw leather vests lined up in her yard, and something in her chest loosened. In the weeks that followed, the bikers came back. Not all at once. One at a time, with casseroles and rides and quiet presence. They fixed the screen door. They boarded the broken window. They sat on the porch while Elena cried and didn't rush her through it. They helped her find a lawyer, a counselor, a job at a diner down the road. The girl learned their names and made up nicknames anyway. The gray-bearded man, whose name was Sam, told Elena one afternoon about the sister he'd lost when he was young. About the call he didn't answer. About the night he'd ridden until his hands went numb because stopping felt like drowning. "I don't believe in erasing the past," he said, staring at the tracks. "But I believe in showing up." Elena listened, nodding, feeling the slow, unfamiliar warmth of being seen. She learned to sleep through the night. She learned to laugh without flinching. She learned that fear could loosen its grip without vanishing entirely, and that was enough. The man who had hurt her pleaded guilty. There were court dates and hard days. There were nights Elena wanted to fold back into herself. Each time, someone was there. A biker leaning against a truck, offering a cigarette she declined. A text that said, "You okay?" A small, stubborn community formed around her, not loud, not boastful, just present. Months later, on a cool morning, the girl stood by the tracks and waved as the bikers rode off after a charity run. She held the wing patch sewn onto her backpack. Elena watched her, hand on her daughter's shoulder, feeling something like hope settle in her bones. She thought of the moment in the grocery store parking lot when her child's voice had split the day open. How fear had turned into motion. How strangers had become shelter. She breathed in the oil-scented air and let it out slowly, the way she'd learned to do. Somewhere, engines faded. Somewhere, a train whistle blew. Life moved on, scarred and stubborn and beautiful. And in the quiet that followed, Elena knew this was not the end of her story, or her daughter's. It was the place where the road bent, where courage found a body small enough to run and a crowd big enough to answer, and where love, unexpected and fierce, stood its ground.